About a month ago, I was in a second-hand bookshop in Moscow when I stumbled across this book, a photo album from 1983 showing the wondrousness of Soviet Kryvyi Rig, a town here in Ukraine. Well, Kryvyi Rig is no longer Soviet, but I thought it might be interesting to go there and compare Kryvyi Rig from this book to Kryvyi Rig of today. Let's see if we can't find some old Soviet treasures still lurking in Kryvyi Rig. Join me as we head now to the bus station and begin our journey to Soviet Kryvyi Rig. We gotta catch this tram, I won't miss the bus to Soviet Kryvyi Rig! Oh, bloody hell! Oh, please! Еще будет?
Нет, нет.
Это все?
Это все.
Well, that's no good. I've been kicked off the tramway. They say it's only going to the next stop. There's no tramways today to the bus station. Bye-bye, tramway chick. So, we're going to have to find another way to begin the journey to Kryvyi Rig. Ooh. Спасибо. Made it onto the bus to the railway station. From there we've got to run up the road to the bus station. Hope our bus is there. Девушка, дайте квас, пожалуйста. Средний. Спасибо, что сдачи не надо. When you're on the streets of the former Soviet Union, trying to cool yourself down, there's something you have to have, and that's a glass of chilled kvass from the street vendor. If you've not had a kvass from a street vendor in the former Soviet Union, you've not really visited the former Soviet Union. Oh, refreshing. All right, no time to chat. We've got a bus to catch. Here we are then, back in the old Avto Vokzal. Да ближайший, пожалуйста, до Kryvyi Rig.
Хорошо, 105.
Так, 105, именно, ровно. Ой, это вам. Ой, есть, хорошо. О! Alright, we've got a ticket to old Soviet Kryvyi Rig. The things you can buy in a Ukrainian bus station. Hunting knives, butterfly knives, shurikens, Chinese throwing stars, everything you need for a bus journey to Kryvyi Rig. Wow. Even a catapult for those naughty little schoolboys on the bus. Well, this is my yellow bus to old Soviet Kryvyi Rig, and this, some of you may remember from a previous film, is the Dnipro bus station. It's funny, isn't it? A short while ago you probably never even heard of Dnipro, and now you recognise the Dnipro bus station like an old friend. I do too. And here's the Kryvyi Rigians, check him out. All off to Kryvyi Rig.
Нет, я багаж не может поставить. Спасибо, у меня такие хорошие 2 дня были.
Нет, я просто вам лично.
Кривий Риг, моє місто, це тобі моя пісня, хай летить вона в небо високе твоє, ти перлина держава.
Right then, we've arrived in old wonderful Kryvyi Rig. I say wonderful because once upon a time, when that book was published, it did look lovely and wonderful. Let's see what it's like though, nowadays. It's not 1983 anymore. Let's see how it's changed. But first, let's find a hotel. Look what we found already. We've only just arrived in old Kryvyi Rig, and we've already found some old Soviet mosaic type thing rotting away on the side of a building as we look for our hotel. Check it out. What a wonderful city old Kryvyi Rig is. Look up here. Whoa. Some old giant abandoned building. Probably some общежитие, some dormitory for a university or something. And here we've got these giant kind of mosaic-y type things showing more things. A woman, a man, the Kryvyi Rigians of the Soviet past. Well, after what can only be described as a marathon walk across this city, I've come to the hotel called the Hotel Central. It's anything but central. Check this place out. Funky old Soviet hotel. Going up to room 304. The cheapest room in the Hotel Central. They should have upgraded me to the best room, considering I've walked the best part of bloody God knows how long to get here. I think this must be a Kryvyi Rigian joke to call it the Central when it's anything but. Anyway, stop complaining, Benjamin. 304. Ooh. Ooh, nice. All this for £12. What's the view like? Here in old Kryvyi Rig. Bit of a garden, bit of a road, and over there I think is a Dom Kulturi. Wow, we've gone back to Soviet times. Oh, I'm going to jump in a shower, take the bag off, and yeah, we'll go out exploring. Oh, and a nice fridge. Beautiful. Right then, let's begin the old adventure for Soviet treasures. Now, to find the Soviet treasures, I think we need a Soviet man. And that means we need to find some old dude with a Lada. That would be the ultimate tour guide, because this city is so long and big, I can't possibly do it on foot. So let's head to the railway station and see if we can find an old codger. Oh, a trolley bus. At this time of year in Ukraine, you find everywhere advertisements for trips to the beach, basically. Look, here you can go to the Crimea. Here you can take a holiday to some places near Odessa. Obviously the Crimea is a little bit more difficult now for people. Here's a trip to Odessa again. Zhelezny Port, another famous resort here in Ukraine. Bayezki. You'll find that all these cities of Ukraine kind of empty out in the summer. Everyone wants to go to the beach. When you live in a country with such brutal winters, as soon as you get some sunshine, you want to make the most of it. Get your bikini on, get your shorts on, and yeah, go and catch some rays somewhere. Я снимаю ваш город. Показать, как красивый был и как сейчас. Девушка, мы едем где-то возле главный вокзал ЖД? Нет. Нет? Совсем нет? Ой, блин. Wow. This bus goes nowhere near the railway station. It's not easy travelling around old Kryvyi Rig.
Город уникальный.
Уникально, да?
Конечно.
Почему?
А почему? А длина 140, если не больше сейчас километров.
140 километров. О, это длинный. Длиннее, чем Лондон или Киев.
Да. Я не знаю, я как-то не сравнивала, надо будет посмотреть. А на украинском вы уже не будете понимать.
Украинский, но разумеем. Не разумеем.
Не разумею.
Пока нет.
Да.
А вы говорите дома на украинский язык или на русском, в принципе?
Сейчас стараюсь переходить на украинский, да, потому что ну как-то это ненормально жить в своей стране, не владеть языком, а у нас вот это такое случилось из-за нашей такой непростой истории украинской.
insane. I've been on here for 1 hour and 15 minutes and I'm still nowhere near the centre. I don't know how people must set off for work for like 2 hours before the office opens. Absolute nightmare. Wasting a whole day on a trolley bus. До свидания. Ой. There's still the USSR here in old Kryvyi Rig. Bloody hell. I was thinking that I would have to expend, something like that. I'd have to spend the most effort finding the different Soviet things. But that's not the difficult thing in Kryvyi Rig. The difficult thing in Kryvyi Rig is just getting to the bloody railway station. What a city. You Kryvyi Rigians, how do you do it every day? Spending 3 hours in a trolley bus just to get to work. It is kind of pretty though. I do like the old Soviet architecture we have here. Check it out, the old Soviet apartment buildings. Давайте, спасибо. Здравствуйте. Ой. Bloody hell, 2 hours and 15 minutes since leaving my hotel, we've made it to the railway station. Well, I'm here at old Kryvyi Rig railway station, but I can't see one Jedushka and an old Lada as I pictured it in my mind. I'd just walk up to him, I'd say, Jedushka, please show me the old Soviet delights. And he'd say, jump in, young man. But there's not one taxi driver. Man, this is turning into a bit of a mission. Where do we find a Zhiguli taxi? And it's bloody hot and I've got no sun cream. At least I can use my book as a sun hat. Well, I suppose if I can't find a taxi driver with an old Lada, I just approach anyone in a Lada and say, do you want to be my driver for the day? And hope someone says yes. Молодой человек, вы не таксист? He wasn't a taxi driver, but he did have a nice old blue Lada. Wowzers. Wowzers. Вы не хотите зарабатывать деньги сегодня? Я скажу. Ну, может быть, 5-6 мест. Я буду платить нормальные деньги.
А нормально это сколько?
Какое? Сколько стоит?
Да, сколько это стоит?
Вы будете сказать потом, и я буду говорить да.
Да.
Будем договорились.
Ну, давай.
Давайте? Super! Wow, we found our man. I think it's a Lada. Wow, super. Спасибо вам большое.
Да, я не таксист, но тем не менее могу предоставить.
Ой, супер. Да, это не должен быть таксист. Но я думаю, что вы знаете ваш город.
Да, я знаю город, конечно, да.
Хорошо. The car we're in is called a Tavare, and it is from the city, the Ukrainian city of Zaporozhye. It's my first time in a Tavare. Never even heard of it before.
В кадре, что есть такие еще автомобили.
И так просто, здесь ничего
Очень,
в принципе
все,
нету.
Да,
только
все,
это
да,
и...
Да, все очень просто.
Wow. It's like a homemade car. There's no buttons in here. Just check it out. There's hardly anything. You can maybe change your fan settings. That thing. No radio, no nothing. Wow, где мы? Центр города?
Это одна из частей, скажем так. В городе как такового центра города нет. Он разбит по районам.
We don't have a center.
Это центральный городской район.
We don't have a centre of this city. You have lots of mini centres. It's so messed up, Kryvyi Rig. Whoever designed this city was an absolute mad lad. Instead of just building a nice circular city where everything's central, they were like, no, we're just going to build a flipping anaconda of a city and put all the centres along it. Where are we going?
Так, я остановлюсь здесь и сейчас прогуляюсь.
Давайте, давайте, вместе, давайте.
Посмотрим.
Close the old window.
Да, да, да. Всё достаточно.
Да? Достаточно?
Да, пускай немножко оно как бы охлаждается.
Wow. We found our first place from the Soviet book, the Theatre of Shevchenko. Can you see the picture there? And look up here, there we go, the Shevchenko Theatre. The Academic Shevchenko Theatre. It's a bit windy, so it's a bit difficult to do everything with one hand. But there you go, there's the theatre in the book, the Soviet theatre, with the Soviet families walking past. And there's the Soviet theatre in Ukraine, with a nice Ukrainian lady walking past. And up there you can still see some of the old Soviet stuff. There you go, the first one ticked off the book. Not the most exciting one, but there you go. Soviet theatre in the book. Kryvyi Rig, Soviet theatre in real life.
Какие там люди в целом?
Здесь?
Нет, там у вас.
Там в Англии?
Да, да.
Ну, Англия тоже не рай. Мы не живем в шоколадной. Ну, может быть лучше, чем здесь, все равно.
Да, уровень жизни, я слышал, гораздо выше.
Я думаю, что да. Up there it says park in the name of Pravda newspaper. Can you see up there? Park is Gazeti, именно Gazeti Pravda. In this part of Ukraine, it's a little bit more Soviet mentality, you could say. And so they haven't changed all the names. And so this park has still got its name. Park in the name of Pravda newspaper. Pravda meaning truth, being the newspaper of the Soviet Union, the main mouthpiece of the Communist Party.
А в речке не пробовали искупаться?
Нет, как там?
Отлично.
Отлично?
Мы купаемся всю жизнь с рождения.
Да?
Рыбки у нас пляж хороший.
Wow.
Много рыбы.
These ladies have been swimming in the water. They said, I need to get into my old boxer shorts and jump in and cool off. Хорошо. Хороший план. Особенно сегодня, потому что это так жарко. Спасибо вам большое. До свидания. Вам тоже. Wow, lovely old babushkas of Kryvyi Rig. Anyway, we found something up ahead that is in the book. By chance, we've stumbled across it.
То, что можете тут снимать и как бы показать.
Wow. We've come at a slightly wrong angle, but you can see here in Park Pravdu, named after the newspaper Pravda, the white building, we're on that bridge there, and there's the building up ahead. You see it? The old Soviet building. It's still here. Wow, the Soviet building is still here. Can you see it? It's really difficult. I haven't planned this out. I need an editor to do this stuff for me, but there's the old Soviet building, the river, the bridge that we're on right now. You see it? And there's the actual thing in real life. You can imagine all the Soviets here in the past having a little swim, walking across this bridge, the bridge that we see in the book, and the bridge that we see in real life.
Его зло берет. Люди не глупые, но грамотные. Здесь много грамотных людей, очень достаточно грамотных. Да. Но не всем удается, наверное, как и у вас, найти что-то свое, да? Да. Поэтому, конечно...
Да, жизнь тяжелая здесь, конечно.
Тяжелая, да. Тяжелая.
Да, я понял.
Здесь в этом отношении она очень тяжелая жизнь.
Behind me is Kryvyi Rig Musical College, and it's in the book. Check it out. There's the photo of it. The nice white pillars and the yellow walls and the children going in to learn some guitar and whatever. And there's the real thing as it stands now. A little bit different. They've changed some of the stuff above the door. There's no longer a hammer and sickle. The windows are plastic. But basically it's the same old building, 1956, Soviet building, as is in the book. Oh, flipping heck. This is why I need a bloody cameraman. There's the book version. There's the real version.
Нет. У меня много друзей,
да.
Но нет высокопоставленных людей.
Понял.
Поэтому я вынужден довольствоваться тем, что есть.
Я все понял.
Да.
Our friend here is saying that in Ukraine, to get somewhere in life, it's not about what you know, it's who you know. So he studied for 6 years in the economics university, but he struggled to get a good job because he just didn't know anyone to get him in. He says here, if you've got friends in high places, your life is sorted. If not, you're a bit shagged. Don't know why I use that word. You're in trouble. Guys, look what we've discovered by chance. The old Soviet post office. Check it out, and nothing has really changed. Look, we've got the old Soviet post box here, which is in the picture. Here before were some yellow telephone boxes in Soviet times. Now there's just an old Chevrolet. And here we had the hammer and sickle above the door of the old Soviet post office. I don't know if you can see it. Anyway, that's what it looked like in Soviet times. And that's what it looks like now. Wow, as we're driving somewhere in Kryvyi Rig, all I can see on the horizon is just smokestacks and factories. And it's like, wow, it's, yeah. Kryvyi Rig is a real industrial city. And that's why it's got a reputation in Ukraine for having the worst ecological situation. The air here is meant to be very bad at certain times of year because of all the smokestacks pumping pollutants into the air. So they say when it rains here in Kryvyi Rig, it's orange rain from the factories. Just gives it a nice brutal vibe, a nice brutal Soviet vibe that I kind of like. Of all the things I was most excited about seeing here in Kryvyi Rig, it was the old Soviet children's theatre that was once housed in an aeroplane. You can see it there, an old Aeroflot aeroplane. And when my man here said, I know where there's a plane in Kryvyi Rig, I thought this must be it. We're going to see the old children's theatre. But it's a different flipping plane. This one apparently doesn't exist anymore. You Kryvyi Rigians in the comment section, tell me if that's true. But anyway, here's another plane, an old Yak-40. A Yak-40 that probably once flew from the airport here to Kiev or wherever, to Moscow. Oh, it still says USSR underneath the wing, look. SSSR. But it's not our plane, and it's not a children's theatre. God knows what happened to that one. We're now heading to Kryvyi Rig Circus. Let's go and see if it still exists, and if it looks the same. It's not Soviet, but look what I found on the billboard. An old poster all ripped and torn. That's advertising Indiana Jones, Raiders of the Lost Ark. Wow, we're a little bit behind the times in old Kryvyi Rig. Raiders of the Lost Ark, just come here. Wow. Kryvyi Rig. Zamolchatny Gorod. Well, here we are at the old Soviet circus of Kryvyi Rig, whatever you want to call it. Here it is in glorious black and white in the book, if you can see that. There's lots of women walking past with prams and short skirts on a lovely summer's day. And here it is now in independent Ukraine, the Soviet circus of Kryvyi Rih or Kryvyi Rig. I'm going to call it Kryvyi Rig so that the Ukrainian people in the comment section don't attack me too much. Kryvyi Rig, let's stick with that. Anyway, there it is. Kryvyi Rig Circus. And Kryvyi Rig Circus in the book. Спасибо за помощь, спасибо.
Да, все, я на телефоне звоню.
Хорошо, спасибо. And there goes old Victor. He's got to go and do something. Remember, he's not a taxi driver. He was just a dude I accosted on the street. Wow. So he's shot off, but we've got a final place to go. We're going to check out the cover of the book. He's told me where it is. Let's go and check it out. Cheers, Victor. You Kryvyi Rig legend. Well, we're going to the very final destination on the book, the front cover. Not by foot, but by the famous Kryvyi Rig Metro. You never knew old Kryvyi Rig had a metro, did you? Let's go and check it out. And watch out for the babushkas. Ой, прости меня, я не заметил, прости. I just slammed the door on the babushka. Сколько проезд? 2,50. Дешевле, чем в Киеве. Спасибо, вау, красивый, что это? Вау, супер, спасибо. Wow. 2.5 hryvnia to have a ride on the wonderful Kryvyi Rig metro. Check it out. And you're going to notice something very interesting about the Kryvyi Rig metro. They don't use metro cars like we've seen in all the other metros we've been to. Watch what comes along. The metro here in Kryvyi Rig is just a tramway that goes underground. So it's just like a normal tram. That is something ticked off my bucket list. Женщины, помогите, пожалуйста, где ты находишься, этого места? Я знаю, что ты рядом.
Это когда-то было.
Это, да, когда-то
Это
было.
не в парке.
Вот
Это рядом должен быть.
Да, да,
да. Где? Куда?
Это, выходите на эту дорогу,
Да.
На центральную дорогу и поворачиваете
через
направо.
светофор, и там парк.
Там
И прям
еще
вот-
существует, да?
да,
Хорошо,
да, вот это.
спасибо вам большое. Ой. The old street cleaning gentlemen of Kryvyi Rig know where to find it, thank God. Because this heat is killing me, I can't take much more walking about. We've made it, despite the obstacles of this insane city and the temperatures. We've made it to the very last Soviet monument. Here it is on the front cover, and here it is in real life, still standing after all these years. Let's check it out. Is it the same one? Yes, it is, thank God. I'd hate to have to travel and look for another one. Let's look at it from this angle. I suppose it's the angle it should be. There we go. And there we go. There's the boat on the side, and there's the boat on the side in the picture. Ah, awesome. You know, whenever I've met people in Ukraine, they've always said, oh, Kryvyi Rig. So glad I escaped from there. It's a terrible place, but you know what? Okay, put aside the old lung cancer you're inevitably going to get if you spend too long here. It's been all right. Some nice Soviet monuments, some nice parks, and yeah, what more can I say? All right, guys, that's it from old Soviet and post-Soviet Kryvyi Rig. Until next time, in some other location. Bye-bye.
Кривий Риг, моє місто, це тобі моя пісня, хай летить вона в небо високе твоє.